There we go. Okay. Wait, no, that's so awesome. I love it because, well, your you writing into us made my day. So,
Oh, that's so sweet. Like literally, I've seen so many changes, like in not only in myself, but like I got my mom hooked on Branch Basics. I'm working on my mother-in-law right now, but like even for my friend's birthday, I did like a little non-toxic gift basket with like the little travel size of the concentrate and like one of the empty hand wash bottles. Like I'm all in.
I love it. Okay. Okay. So tell me about you and just like where you live, how you started using Branch Basics, like all the things.
Yeah, so I just turned 28 last week. I'm in Norfolk, Virginia, born and raised here. Went away to college, came back. And so my husband and I live here with our dog, Bear. Here, I'll show you our family photo.
Okay. For some reason, I thought you said like dorm and I love it. Gonna have to use that.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we're in Norfolk, Virginia. I'm 28, and I've like my whole life, I feel like I've just like been sickly, you know? And in listening to y'all's podcast, I know Allison always mentions like you either are sick or you're smart. I was the sick gal. In my whole life, it was either strep throat or migraines or just having chronic eczema. That was my whole life. And so I was seeing all of these specialists and seeing all of these doctors and taking all of these medications, all these topical steroid creams for my whole life. And like, you just do what you can with the information you have at the time. So
Exactly.
that was my life. So, but it wasn't until I went to college, I got in a car accident and I had this really bad neck injury in when I was about 21 years old. And every single doctor I went to gave me more and more like painkillers, oxycodone, all the things. And I was just like, not about it. I'm really sensitive to medications anyways. And just knowing like if something didn't feel right
Yeah.
is the overarching thing. I had a gut
Did you
feeling
have
and I
to
was
take
like,
it
this
though? Like,
isn't how I'm meant to live.
right. But did you have to take it like at least temporarily just for pain?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I was on them, but it made me in such a brain fog. I was like canceling plans with my friends just so I wouldn't be in pain, but I wasn't able to drive a vehicle. So it was such a toss up for me with the
Yeah.
side effects of the conventional medicines. And that's when it kind of all clicked for me. So I started using essential oils. That was kind of where I was at that time, just kind of learning a little bit. It wasn't until quarantine where I was like in my house all the time, so sensitive to all of like the laundry detergents and all the things I know now from your podcast and your Instagram stories. I'm like, it's clicking in my head now. Like, oh my God, that's what that was. That's why I had a migraine after I was stripping laundry with conventional detergents for 2 days straight, you know? So it's so interesting for me to kind of put two and two together now that I know all the things that I know from your Instagram and your podcast and your blogs too. It's been so amazing for me. So now I switched everything to Branch Basics. I am doing the leafy prana tinctures instead of like the conventional Tylenol, which is working great for me and
Nice.
really helping with my migraines using peppermint essential oil, frankincense. I started using the Organifi Harmony and the Pure as well. Love that. Oh my God. I like look forward to that every evening. That's like my little nighttime dessert is my Harmony.
I love it.
And let's see, I had a fever and I did the hygiene bath that I saw Allison post on the Instagram stories. So I got my little iodine from Whole Foods and did the tofu plaster packs and everything. Like I'm all in, Kelly. I'm telling you, I'm loving
Alex,
it.
this is amazing. I mean, this is like why we do what we do. This is amazing to hear. I mean, it's like, and then you were telling us like your skin has never been
Yes.
better, and
Honestly,
what
I
else have
switched
you
my
used?
makeup to Beauty Counter and I switched all of my like skincare to Primally Pure, which I'm obsessed with. And honestly, my skin has never looked better. I used to have horrible patches of eczema,
Glowing right now.
like right here, all over my arms, like all over my face. So like you can't hide that, you know? And that was me through my childhood, through middle school, awkward phase, the teasing, you name it. So like for me to not have that is so amazing. I didn't even know my skin could feel like this and not be puffy and itchy all the time. I thought that was just how everyone felt. And it wasn't until maybe like a month after switching everything that it clicked for me. And I was like, I haven't noticed that. I haven't needed to put cream on. It's been so awesome. So I am a customer for life. I'm into it. I switched all of our like Tupperware containers to the glass because they were doing a sale at Costco, and I was like, oh, perfect. So I'm slowly trying to make like the whole transition. I know it might seem like a big investment for people all at once. You know, I think that's one of the main reasons, especially with my friends, that they're like, oh, I can't afford to just throw all this stuff away. But what I try and tell them, what I've learned from you guys, is it's every choice that you make in a day. You don't have to do everything at once, but if you make one conscious choice, they all add up. And that's what I've seen over the past probably 6 to 8 months when I first started doing this.
Yes. Oh, that's amazing. And like with the whole toss the toxins idea concept, it's merely seen over and over. I mean, just removing stuff and putting it in your garage can make all the difference, and that doesn't cost anything. So
Right. And that's exactly what I did. That's a great point, because my husband and I were like, okay, we can't afford to do a complete overhaul right now. Like, we both work really hard. We have a mortgage, but we both want this. And he's been with me for 10 years now. So he's seen every stage. So I'm so blessed that he's supportive in this for me. But we said, okay, let's put everything that is toxic, put it in a bin, put it in the shed. And if we need it, we'll go get it. And it turns out we didn't really need that much. You know, like it's just sitting in the house, not being used. And you realize that when you take it out, you're like, oh, I'm not going to the shed as often.
And you realize, like I have dozens of stuff sitting in cabinets. So like, do we actually even use this anymore?
Right.
So it's like literally just sitting there
off gas
in our air for no reason, you know? But this is so awesome to hear. I mean, so when you notice your skin improving, was that from laundry detergent or skin care or both, do you think?
Initially, it was just the Branch Basics, because that's the only thing that I switched. And so I noticed it in doing the laundry, like using the oxygen boost, which is amazing because my husband works out and he smells sometimes. So oxygen boost is key, and it takes care of the smell. You know, I hear so many of my friends say, oh, it's not going to take care of it. You need X, Y, and Z. I'm like, no, you don't.
I love it. Yeah, how's like your family, like beyond your husband?
Yeah.
And your friends, how have they responded, or what's the
Oh my gosh. So our family's pretty small. So it's my mom, and then my in-laws are in town too. And both my mom and my mother-in-law always comment on like how amazing my skin looks, because they've obviously known me for a long time. Obviously, my mom has known me for 28 years. But she is so proud of all the things that I've done. And I've really tried to educate them too, because I know like once you get set in a pattern, it's sometimes difficult to challenge that, especially if you've grown up a certain way. And I feel like for me, it helped in that process that I was sick and I was so devastated that something had to change. But I'm really trying to educate my mom and my mother-in-law and my friends. Like, these are things that are important for everyone. You might seem healthy now, but imagine what it could be if you remove the burdens that your body's trying to detox from.
I mean, you're hired. Come on. Come on. You're amazing. I love it, Alex. That's just so cool to hear. I mean, and so did you grow up using, pretty conventional?
Oh yeah.
Was this like
totally? I was a cucumber melon gal. Yeah. I drank Kool-Aid. I ate lean cuisines, Doritos,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. I mean, yeah, well, that's awesome that your mom is even like on board, because my mom, like, I'm the founder of the company, and she's still like, okay, I'll use it here and there, whatever. But so anyway, it's so always so helpful whenever your, close family is supportive.
I feel really blessed about that, but I think it's also because I was so sick and my mom felt so out of control. And I'm not a mom yet, I'm a dog mom, but I can only imagine like how powerless she felt
Right.
when I was going through all that stuff, that now she's like, oh, I want to do anything to help. And there's no one to blame for all that. Everyone's just working with whatever information they have at the time.
Absolutely.
And it's always, oh, I should have done this. If I had known this, X, Y, and
Right.
Z, but you can't live like that.
Exactly. No, that's like so key. I mean, Marilee I assume you know Marilee's story, but she
Yeah.
was literally like 9 months pregnant, painting her son's nursery, and had just had the pesticide guy come spray her baby's nursery. And now looking
Yeah.
back, she'd be like, never, never. But she actually like was so sick feeling during that time that she was like lying on the ground in the carpet that had just been sprayed, and ended up going into early labor, and then
Wow, yeah.
connect the dots. And that what you were saying earlier, like making the connections and like light bulb going off, like that's what like we really just hope to do for people, because that's what happened with me, with Allison, with Marilee. It's like, until you start to think about like, wait, why do I have a headache, instead of just like, I have a headache, so let me take
Right.
something. It's like when you start thinking of it in that way, then you're able to start really kind of like investigating and figuring out, what is it that I'm around every day that can
Exactly. Like looking more at
more
root
than just
cause
a
stuff.
one-off experience. Like, what, when I went to the nail salon and I started feeling bad, or whatever it is.
Exactly.
Um,
And like for me, I got off of conventional hormonal birth control after 10 years because I was initially prescribed it in high school because I had ovarian cysts. So not even for birth control purposes.
yep.
So in like doing all that research and like hearing your stories about going to Marilee's and her saying, okay, well, if you're coming, you shouldn't be on birth control. I thought that was so funny. But that also like made me do research about that. And I stopped taking it, and now I'm doing like a natural family planning with the basal temperature.
So you recently stopped taking it. Okay.
Yeah. So I started this non-toxic lifestyle kind of in January, where I switched to a paleo diet, got branch basics, and started doing like those types of things. And then in May, I stopped taking the hormonal birth control. So it's been, I guess, eight months or so since I've like switched to non-toxic, but it's only been a couple months since I've been off of the birth control. But it's going well so far. And I mean, I feel so much better. I was worried that I was going to feel like a wreck because I'd been on it for 10, 12 years.
Right.
But honestly, it just feels like something, like a cloud's been lifted off of me. Granted, the first week was a little rough, you know?
Yeah.
But overall, it's been really great. I have nothing but good things to say, like, about what you guys are doing. I'm so on board with it. I'm so happy that you reached out to me because I feel so passionate about it. So I want to keep doing this, and I want to help and support you guys any way I can.
You first, I know you said you started with essential oils and things.
Yeah.
Like that, and how did you first even start thinking? I mean, about going this path? Like what?
So it's pretty funny. So I love babies. I love babies. I'll just put it up there. I think they're awesome. I don't have one yet. I would love to have one soon. So my mom sent me a video of this baby on Facebook. Turns out the father is Flav City Bobby Parrish on Instagram. So I started watching the videos of the daughter Rose as a baby. And then that's what prompted me to switch to paleo diets and clean eating. And then he was using Branch Basics. And that's how it all happened, because I am obsessed with baby videos.
Oh, amazing.
Isn't that epic?
So cool. And that is like one of the reasons why I'm like, social media is amazing.
Yeah, it really is.
There's some things that I don't love about social media, but that is like why I'm like, this is amazing that we can connect with these people, and that this can just spread
right.
Like word of mouth on steroids.
I got a kick out of that though, because I was telling my husband, I was like, she's probably going to ask me and I'm going to have to say that I'm obsessed with baby videos. And that's how it all started, honestly. So the clean eating, everything in January, they were using Branch Basic. And then that's when I followed you guys on Instagram and started like going through all of your highlight reels and reading the blog. and it went from there.
Oh, wow. That is so cool. So good. Um, well, this has been amazing. And now I'm like, I want to dig in and just like ask you more questions. Like, okay, when you first started digging into our Instagram, like what was confusing, what would have been helpful, what was really great. I would love to get more feedback
Yeah.
at some point.
So it's funny because I had an Instagram and then stopped using it because I was like, oh, this is kind of stupid. It's just like my high school friends. So then this whole like reevaluation of everything in January, I cleaned up my Instagram and literally it's just like my close knit and then like accounts to follow to learn stuff and Branch Basics and Flave City and like other toxic free lifestyle influencers. So it's so funny because I wasn't even like on Instagram before this happened. So when I went to your Instagram, I loved that you had the different highlights. And most importantly, I love that you and Allison do like the Instagram stories of like your normal life. I think that is so helpful because I feel like sometimes with companies, they only post, oh, here we're at the headquarters, here we're mixing this, doing this. But to see like, oh, we're making dinner and this is what we're making. Oh, and I made this smoothie and this is what I put in it. You can get it at Whole Foods. Like I've done that. I've like taken screenshots of y'all's stories and say, okay, Saturday I'm going to Whole Foods and getting that. So I think that aspect of it, like the realness of you all, and I know that probably puts pressure on you all because it's like always on, you know, there's no privacy. But in terms of like relevant things, like just making a bubble bath with Branch Basics, I didn't think of that. And I did it after I saw that you all did it with your kids. So like just those types of things, I think that also helps show what you can do with the product, because I think in talking with my friends, they're like, oh, it's just one thing that does everything. I don't know about that. How can it do everything good? Exactly. But I'm like, the fact that it does everything shows you that you don't need all of those extra toxic ingredients. You can get it done and done right with this one product, and look how versatile it is. You can use it throughout the whole home, on your dog, in the bath, dishes, laundry, everything.
I mean, you're just amazing. I love it.
That's so sweet.
I love like the passion and excitement, and it's just awesome to hear. So yeah, no, I mean that is like an uphill battle for people for sure. Like I can use the same thing that I clean my toilets with to like spray my fruits and vegetables. Like what?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, this is like snake oil, you know. But I love it. Well, I mean, I'm trying to think if there's, unless there's anything else to, you know, share, any other stories that you wanted to share. Like this has just been awesome, and I'm so grateful for your time.
Oh, thank you. And thank you so much for sending me the gift. I was like, oh, I'm going to get my mother-in-law some Branch Basics and Oxygen Boost. Her birthday's in October. Okay, I have to remember. And then you sent it. I was like, oh, yay. Because I got
bottles, let me know.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love like having the different little teeny foaming washes. Like I have one in the car, like the mini bottles. I have one in the car. I have one in like our camper, and like just all around, so that we're not like having to use random pink soap, you know, when we're out, the pink soap. Yeah, exactly. So that's been awesome. And I just feel so grateful that you all are so open about it. I love listening to your podcast, like when I work out and everything, or if I'm like in the sauna. That's also another thing that I did.
A sauna?
So I want to go get one. We're members of a country club, so I use their sauna like after I work out, but we're saving up for the Therasage, the portable one.
Yes. I actually just ordered one.
Really?
Yeah. I don't really do a lot of sauna, like detoxing whenever I'm nursing or pregnant. I'm still nursing my little one. And then we hope to get pregnant soon with another. So I'm like, I don't know if I'll actually really use it, but maybe like on low temperatures, and I know my husband will use it. So I went ahead and finally did it, finally ordered.
I think it's so cool that you can literally just like sit in it and watch TV, or like watch your kids, or just do whatever you were planning to do, and like kill two birds with one stone. That's something that I've done because I saw Allison doing castor oil packs. So I've been doing castor oil packs, magnesium baths, switching over my products. dry brushing. I haven't gotten the hang of dry brushing yet.
I know.
I'm working on it though. I got one and I try, and then it looks at me when I open up the cabinet and I'm like, I should do it. So I hope that one day I'll be like, oh, I'm excited to do it. I'm not there yet.
Yeah, I feel you on that. How amazing, what a blessing that you are doing all this before getting pregnant. Like, that,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just such a, I'm always been so grateful for that like I learned about all of this at an age before I like started even really living on my own. It was like right when, after college, so right when I started living on my own and like started buying products for my space, and then like preconception. It's so awesome.
That's another thing though, because my mom, it took her 10 years to get pregnant with me. I'm an only child. And so it was like a high risk pregnancy because she was 38, because she started trying when she was 28, and you don't ever know. So I'm an IVF baby. So that's always kind of been in the back of my head too. Like, I want to be able to have a baby and not have it take 10 years and $100,000 in IVF. So I feel like this is what I can control. And that was also a driving factor for me. So I'm so glad you mentioned that, because that's kind of what's driven this too. My health, but also thinking about what my mom went through, and I don't want to have to do that.
Right. Especially with your cyst. When did you get this? Like in high school?
So it's so funny. So I noticed that like I had cysts in high school, probably when I was 14 or 15, and that's when they put me on birth control. And after getting off of birth control, I got a scan last year when I was on it. I got a scan just about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they had shrunken so much. Some of them even just disappeared.
Amazing, Alex.
I'm freaking out. Yeah, you should have seen me in the doctor's office. And so like I said, it's been 8 months or so since I've tossed the toxins.
Right.
And just a year. So maybe like within that time, like there are ones that were there and now they're gone. And the other ones that are there are smaller. None of them have grown. They've either gotten smaller or disappeared, which I'm like,
I mean, that is amazing.
Yeah.
This is what, it's so hard for people to like really get this sometimes, or to like really believe it, I should say. And so, man, I'm so glad you said that, because that is just,
it's like a concrete example. You can't argue with it.
Yeah. And it just happens over and over again. I mean, we hear it over and over again. Like it's not coincidence.
Right.
Oh, this has been so awesome and so like energizing for me to hear. I am just so appreciative for you.
Oh, I am so appreciative. I look up to you guys so much, and I love learning, and I've learned so much from both you and Allison, and Marilee too. I know she's not as active on social media, but I know she writes a lot of the blogs that I've read, and like the cleaning method. I made my husband do it. He was not too happy about it, but we did it. Yeah. But I am so appreciative of the time today, and I really do feel passionate about it. And I want to say, like, I want to help. If you need anything from me, I'm willing to do it, because I feel so passionate about it. Like, I'm so glad that you all were so active on social media and the stars aligned, and I found you through a cute baby video. Because this has changed my life, and I want to help change other people's lives, because they're probably where I was a year or two ago, just confused and not sure where to go from here, So I feel like it's all about passing that on and helping other people. And it all started with paleo, diet, and branch basics. That was it.
So awesome. All right. Well, thank you, Alex.
Yeah, have a good day.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.